Alright, so I done gave out the tracks. Michelle didn't come. Actually, nobody didn't come. But it's not like I told everybody. But she didn't come. I told her. She said yeah when I told her Sunday. If that's what I was gonna do, she just said yeah. I talked to her today. Now I'm only saying this so I have it in my video, just in case something is said that I didn't say anything, you know. But I did text her, and she never said to me that she weren't coming, and she never said that she was coming. So, you know, this is what the Lord put in me. So, He sent His disciples out in twos, you know. So you're not really, in all honesty, you're not really supposed to go out by yourself. You're supposed to go with somebody. But you know what? You know, what can I say? What can I do? If, you know, there's no one available, you got to do what you got to do. And the Lord put this in my spirit to do. And even though He's been bringing the word, telling us to that we need to start a revival. We need to pray. You know, it's not being done. So, you know, because as they say back in the days, one bad apple don't spoil a whole bunch, you know. So you can pick out that bad apple and just keep going forward. So this is my desires to reach souls, you know, and I'm gonna approach Bishop tonight and find out whether or not he went to Pastor Glover and asked Pastor Glover about the flyer, because I don't want to make up nothing. You see what I'm saying? I don't want nobody to tell me, oh, go ahead, you could do it. And then when it's done, then it's going to be like, I didn't say nothing. I didn't tell her nothing. So that's why I'm going through Bishop, so Bishop could go to her, because I don't want to intercount no problems with nobody. I don't want nobody to be saying that I didn't tell nothing. I didn't say nothing. Because if they say, see, here's different. If they say, I never told her to do it, and I say that you did, it's going to be like I'm being insorbinated or whatever that is. So when you rebuke a leader, so that way I'll go to Bishop, Bishop go to her, and if she tells Bishop, oh, go ahead, she could do it, tell her to make up the flyer, then that way Bishop is the one that's in between. So once it's being done, and if it comes out that it was not said to be done, then, you know, I have a third party. And if he goes like he don't remember, then what can I say? What can I say? You see what I'm saying? I'm not here to be fighting and arguing with nobody. I'm not here to be the lead. You see what I'm saying? But I'm definitely not to tell, you know, because the word say He made me the head, not to tell. So I'm not even trying to be all that. But I just want people to, I just want to do what God say do. And with that being said, I want to do it. You know, I just don't want to be talking, keep talking. You see what I'm saying? Because, see, there was a place I had to get to before I could do what I'm doing now. The desire was there, but I had to get to that place. I had to be made for this, you know? I had to be made and prepared to go out there and do whatever that needs to be done. So therefore, if people turn me down with a track and say no, or I go to talk to them, I had to get to a place where God wanted me to be, so I'll be able to talk to Him. You know, even though I felt I was ready way back 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 years ago, but I wasn't. You see what I'm saying? I feel now that I'm more ready now than I was even 2 years ago. There was a lot of sit down in my life that had to be done. There was a lot of quietness that had to take place. You know, there was a lot of things, and see, I could see it in my home. You see what I'm saying? I could see where the quietness took place within me because I'm seeing a result in my home. You see what I'm saying? And how I'm responding to things and how things are being, you know, how things are being, how people are responding to me now, you know. So, you know, I was saying that some of the prophets, you know, and some of the kings that was called to be king or called to be prophet or however it was, didn't set out to do God's will because they had to be in a training. And then when we go through certain, I think it's Samuel and Eli, you know, Hannah, is Hannah Samuel's mother? Now, if I'm wrong, you can let me know because I'm not, this is not a quote, but I believe that Samuel was, that Hannah was Samuel's mother, and I think Hannah had a child, and she dedicated that child to God, and she left Samuel there at the temple with Eli, right? And Eli raised him up and taught him the way of God, taught him the strolls, taught him the Bible, all that. He grew up to, I mean, he was a child, but he knew the scriptures. You see what I'm saying? So God called him at a young age. God called him, and he kept hearing the voice, Eli, and he kept Samuel, right? He kept hearing Samuel, and he thought it was Eli, and he kept going to Eli, asking him, are you calling me? But then Eli would tell him, no, lad, I ain't call you. And then the last time that he came to Samuel, to Eli, he told him the next time, say, here am I, Lord, speak. Something on that fashion. So if I got the story right, see, Eli, I keep saying Eli, Samuel was called at a very young age, right? And I can't even go into what was said once he said, here am I, Lord. But he had told him to do, he was calling him to do something, right? But the thing, my point is that he was a young child, but he was a young child to do what he had to do. God had called him, and he was with Eli. So now, let me see. I'm looking it up because I want to make sure I got the right scripture. Okay, it says 1 Samuel 3. The calling of Samuel. 3, 1 to 18. Okay. Let me see. But anyway, my point is that, I know I was called. I just didn't know what I was called for. And I'm still learning. I'm still allowing God to teach me. And I could have been out there and did what needed to be done. I know that I hear a lot. It's said a lot in our church that we hold up our own blessings. It's true. It's true up to a certain extent, right? But sometimes a lot of the blessings that we may be holding up is not for us to have at that time. We're not ready for the blessing. We're holding it up. Yes, we are holding it up because at the time that we feel that it's for us to have, it's not really the time for us to have it. And the outsider may say, yeah, I see you being a real dynamic preacher, but you can't preach because you don't come to church. You can't be that dynamic preacher because you don't come to Sunday school. But see, here's the thing: Sunday school and coming to church, yeah, you do gotta. The Bible say don't forget to assemble yourself, right? But it don't say nothing about Sunday school, so we can get off of that. Hang it up on a hook and leave it alone. But the the coming to church, coming to Sunday school doesn't make you a preacher. You see what I'm saying? So you could come to church, you can come to Sunday school every Sunday, and you could be a teacher. But that doesn't mean you're gonna be a preacher. And you may see in me that I'm a good speaker, but that may not be my calling. Maybe that's what's for me to do at that moment, at that at that moment in time. You see what I'm saying? From let's say 2005 to 2010, for 5 years, I'm supposed to teach. I'm supposed to preach, if some people want to call it that. But then who's to say? Who's to say I'm supposed to? The Lord got me preparing me to do all that because He about to send me to another state. He about to prepare me to open up a church somewhere else. You see what I'm saying? Under the leadership of my leaders or whatever. So we can't underestimate what God has for us to do, because no, let me take that back. Let me rephrase it. We can't underestimate what God has for somebody else to do based on what we think they should be doing. And that's how a lot of people get in leadership. That's why we got all these young bishops. You see what I'm saying? All these prophets, all these prophetesses, and names I ain't never heard of. Because people see something and they automatically assume that it's coming from God. So they put that for that person. Oh, child, you really prophesied today. Now you elect Prophet Jordan. And now everybody walking around here calling me, now we going to call. We want to know our prophetess elect Jordan has anything to say. I don't want to be in nothing that God don't want me to be in. If God didn't call me, I don't want you to place me there. And if it ain't in my spirit to be there, and let's say my leaders come to me and say, well, the Lord told me you're going to be a prophet. Okay. I think like this. Whatever He tell that leader, right? If, I'm going to say, let's say it's me. Whatever He tells my leaders about me, if I stay connected to God, God going to let me see what He told the leader. That's if the leader told me. If the leader come to me and say, yeah, the Lord told me that your calling is to be a prophet. And I'll be like, okay. All right, no problem. I'm sure the Lord told you when for me to prophesy. Well, not when. And if they there should be some more behind there. It should be some words behind it. Well, yes, that's what He told me that you were going to be. He wants you to do such and such. Pray more, fast more, get in His word. Whatever it is that He want me to do, He's going to tell them. Now, let's say, for instance, He told me that He want me to be a prophet. When I say He told me, I see it. Let's say He spoke to me and He told me. And I'm not saying nothing. I'm just keeping it to myself. I'm not saying that. I don't know why people feel like they're supposed to go to their leaders and tell their leaders what they're supposed to be doing. If that leader got any connection with God, God gonna tell that leader first. And He may tell you may, just like He showed me dreams when I was 12 years old preaching. I had no idea I was gonna be evangelist up here preaching to people, and I don't even think that's the full effect. But it's gonna be, I think, no, take that out. I don't want my mind went somewhere. So, because He showed me at 12 that I was preaching, and many years beyond that, my grandmother told me to wait. And then I never told him. I ain't tell him yet that the Lord showed me preaching right here in this church. He showed me the people Do y'all see how dim it is? Just to recap on a dream I had. I had a dream that it was dim like this in here. And I came from upstairs, from downstairs upstairs. And there was so many people in the church. So many people in the church. And I came walking through and I was looking like, what's going on in here? Why is it so dim? And let me see if I can show you. Can y'all see? Can you see? Let me see if I got it. You see the pulpit? That's how light it was. It was light like that. And Bishop was sitting. Let me see if I can get this chair right. Bishop was sitting right there. Bishop. There was other people in the pulpit, but I didn't know who they was. Only person I knew was Bishop. And the light was shining just like that. So all these lights, as you could see, all the lights was off. And it was from there that I came. And when I came, I was like, what? I was looking around at everybody, and everybody seemed so contented. Like, oh, it's okay. This is how it is. And I'm walking like, this is too dark. And there was somebody over there sitting. I don't know who it was. And I was sitting right here, behind me. I was sitting behind me, but over there in the corner. I gotta show you, right there. That's where I was sitting at. And the other person was sitting over there, right? And when it was time to testify, every time I would get up to testify, somebody would jump up ahead of me. And you could tell, I could tell that it was, people was being spiteful. They didn't want me to get up. They didn't want me to say nothing. They was trying to stop me. And in the dream, I knew that was the enemy that was trying to stop me from talking about the Lord. So every time I would get up, I would go like this and they would get up. By the time that person would finish talking, I would go to get up, somebody else to get up, right? So then what happened is that when the last person got up, before they even finished, I jumped up. And when I jumped up, I said, give honor to God, like that. You know? And then they had to stop. They couldn't stop me. They couldn't stop me no more. Meaning that they couldn't talk over me. I had to, I was up, so I had to testify. But the light, dim like this, in the dream, the Lord was telling, since I started talking about the dream, I might as well say, in the dream, it was that the Spirit of God was dead in the house. There was no more Spirit. Now, maybe because Bishop was the one up there, maybe the light was still up there. But I'm saying that that's what it was, that he was up there, so the Spirit was still up there. But it was like he was satisfied. Everybody was like sitting up in the dark, and it wasn't like because lights was out and bills wasn't paid, and that's why lights. No, it was like people was sitting in here normally as if the lights was on. And that ain't the first time I saw. I had went downstairs. I had another dream where I went downstairs and there was people all lined up again. That was before Tangent died, so I was saying maybe that was her funeral or something. But in the dream, it wasn't somebody dying. It wasn't like a gathering. It was like a service. Like people was up in here having service. And it was like all kinds of people up in here. See, and that's where the sad part came in. Because what I got from it is that it's going to be all types of spirit that's going to enter in the church. It's going to be all types of different types of religion, different types of spirits, different types of people, and everybody's going to be contented. And I was the only one in the church that was against it. I was the only one walking through this church. First of all, I didn't even see no people that I knew. It's like I said, the only person that I saw was Bishop. He was the only one sitting up there on that pulpit. And he was sitting up there just as content as he could be, like nothing was going on. Like it was all right to sit in the dark. Don't even worry about it. Y'all go ahead. And just like I said, it wasn't a matter of bills not being paid, lights being off. It was a matter of spirit being gone and people were satisfied. But I tell you something, in the dream, I wasn't. I wasn't. And there wasn't a soul in the dream that backed me up. There wasn't nobody in the dream that that was like feeling how I was feeling. Nobody in the dream that was like, I can't explain it. There was nobody in the dream that was standing up for God. Let me put it that way. Nobody in the dream that I knew of was standing up for Christ. I had so many dreams about this church. So many dreams. It was filled with water right outside the front of the church. It was flooded with water. And when I came in the church, I was in the church. And it seems like, this is good because then I remember these dreams. It was like, where I'm sitting at now is where I normally sit at. People know with me. But all of this over here, let me see. Let me go up. All of that over there. All them benches over there. Can you see the benches? All the benches over there. It was kind of like, not a lot, but it seemed like Bishop had came over to me, was talking. I can't really remember what was going on. But what I can remember, what seems to be vivid in my memory, is it was time to go. And he was like trying to push me out the church, trying to hurry me out the church. And it seemed like I didn't want to leave. It seemed like I was just chilling, didn't want to go. You know, everybody was just procrastinating because I was procrastinating. But I had to go. Bishop came like rushing me out. And then when I got outside the door of the church where the steps is, in the front of my church, there's steps that go down, right? And then there's a gate to go out. But those steps was not there. When you walk out the church, it was nothing but muddy water. Muddy, dirty water. And I was like, it looked like I had on a pink dress. I was dressed up. And I was like, I ain't getting in that water. And they was in the church, but they had access, like with the back, there was no church in the back. You just walk out some kind of way. The dream was like set up that around the corner from where I had to go. It looked like a corner. There was nothing there, right? And everybody was getting in their cars. They was leaving me and Danielle to foot ourselves through that water. They was like, you ain't coming our way. We going out the back. And we going to be all right, but you got to go out the front, and you going out in all that water. And I was like, I'm not stepping in that water. You talking about some dirty, muddy water. That's what it was. And I had on this nice pink dress, and Danielle stepped in the water. It was like no problem to her. She was like, I'm going to get in the water. And I'm looking at her like, and she just stepped in. I don't know what she did. It looked like she was floating or whatever. But she looked like she had on a white dress. It looked like a wedding dress. And she stepped down in the water. And she went on. But I'll tell you something, I ain't getting that water. If anybody hear this dream, maybe they can give me an interpretation of it. But I took the water as sin. I took the water being muddy and dirty as sin. I took the back of the church as people was finding a way to escape from sin. And they was going to leave me there to go through the sin. Right? And they went around the back, and they didn't tell me nothing about a way out of it, of how to not go through that muddy water. And they went around the back. And I didn't know that the back was so clear until I happened to turn and look. And I was like, it's so nice and clean. It had the sidewalk back there and everything. I said, they didn't even want to tell me nothing about it. They wanted me to go through all this water, all this muddy water. And in the dream, I was feeling bad. I was feeling hurt. And I was saying to myself, wow, these people really don't care about me and my daughter. These people don't really care. But like just like I said, they only care. She was like, "Yo, y'all don't want me getting. I'm getting in the water." And nobody was trying to make me go in the water. But in order for me to, I guess, go to my destination, I had to go through the water, right? But I stood on the steps of the church. I was like, even though in reality the steps is up high, it's like 7 steps that leads upward. But once I walked out the church, that was like the sidewalk. I didn't have to go down nothing. I just had to go around the back of the church, like an entrance in the back. But I didn't know nothing about the back. I just saw people disappearing. Bishop was in the church with me. Next thing you know, I ain't see him no more. And I was like, well, where did he go? And I just happened to turn like my body around. And when I turned around, I saw everybody like sneaking out, going out the back way. And I was like, I'm not stepping in that water. What is that? They trying to, what, they going out the back way? What is that? I don't know what that was. But I was not trying to go in that nasty, dirty water. I was like, no way, that will not be. Then I had another dream. This one was with Minister Marcus and some other people. And they had this big old aluminum pail, not a pail, can, that like a tank of water. What was it, like water? It was just filled up to the top. And they was telling me that I needed to put my face in it. And I was like, I don't know about that. I was like, I ain't put my face. What is going on with this water? People want me to go through water. And I was like, I don't want to go through that water. And they was like, he was there and he was like, come on, you could do it. Just go ahead. Because I was thinking, it wasn't baptism, but it was sort of like being baptized. But it was like a swimming thing. And I can't swim and I don't like no water in my face. So I was like, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. And it looked like I had my wedding rings on and everything, but I had to take my wedding ring off. I had to take my wedding ring. It was the wedding ring. And I was like debating whether I want to take that wedding ring off. And they was like, come on, you could do it. Just go down in the water. Just go. And I was like, but he was looking kind of funny. He was like, he had that look like, go ahead, go in the water. Go in the water. You know how somebody wants you to get in something bad because it's going to be bad for you? And I was just looking at him like, I don't know. Well, I want to go in that water. So finally I decided, I said, all right, I'm going to go. So I took off my wedding band. I think the water was clear. I think it was clear. Somebody coming in. But anyway, the water was, I can't remember whether it was clear or not. I think I wrote it down. But I didn't see myself in the dream going it. I didn't see myself. I made up my mind to go through it, and I took off my wedding ring. Looked like I gave the wedding ring the wedding ring. It looked like I gave the wedding ring to somebody, but I didn't. I woke up before I went through the water. So I don't know why I was dreaming about Minister Marcus going in the water. I don't know why I was dreaming about taking off my wedding ring. I don't know why I can't understand what the water. They say dream of water. Let me see. Yeah, I heard that when you dream of water, it depends on what kind of water. Depends on what kind of water. And what kind of water it is. When you dream of waves or restless water, it means you're allowing your emotional side to take over your emotions and waking life. And they say that when you dream of water, it got something to do with your life, like your physical life, different things. Walking through turbulent water in a dream indicates emotions are not being controlled. Seeing choppy sea in a dream can indicate a worrying time ahead, but you will work it out in the end. Okay, so let me see. Seeing water in a dream is good or bad. Water can play a significant role in our dreams and overall. I believe that water is positive if the water is sparkling, clear, and still. The dream is, however, somewhat negative if the water is murky or choppy. I have covered all the meanings of water in dreams below. You had a dream about water. You want to know if water is good or bad. Dreams about water are somewhat common, and you may have various questions about what the dreams actually mean, as well as answering the important questions above. The dream about water can symbolize our own internal feelings and how we emotionally respond to life. The lessons that you can learn from this dream is that it is good if the water is clear, and in this instant can denote that purification will essentially flow through your life. Yeah, that's what it was. The water was clear for me to go in with. The water was clear with Minister Marcus and taking off the wedding ring. The one that was by the church, it was dirty and muddy, and I didn't want to go with it. So let's go on. Let me see. If, however, the water is choppy, and this can represent difficulties in regard to controlling emotions, in this case, the dream could be bad. There is much material about water online and written in ancient books, and it's about to take on the board over there. Many of us gravitate to believing that the water is connected to our emotions, which I concur. But the details and the type of water featured in the dream is equally important. I have broken this dream meaning into simple, easy to understand sections so you can decide. Please scroll down to find your dream. Okay, seeing water in your dream is going to... It's one of the four elements of life. Water is an important symbol in dreams. And just like any other symbol can denote good and bad situations, feelings, issues, and situations. The element of water is connected to peace, happiness, healing, and clearing our own thoughts. Okay, what does it mean to my water? Oh boy. Heavy rain falling down on you and drinking that you're feeling a sense of being calm. Yeah, that did happen. I did have a dream where I was in the rain. It was coming down. Clear. You can't really see rain come down clear. But that's what it was. If the water was, however, uncontrollable, then this is no, it's not difficult, especially control emotion. Okay. And what is going to indicate the flow from the shower rain? A river where the water manifests. Okay, a river where the water manifests as clear and pure is a reflection of the joys of life. If murky, then the river in this instant indicates that someone is going to turn to you for advice. Wow. The sea carries a whole new meaning, as we also have the power of the waves created by the moon. Moon represents dishonesty, spirituality. Generally, waves in dream are a powerful indication that emotions are out of control. You may find a vast among. I don't dream of waves. Okay, here go dirty water. To see dirty water in your dreams signifies negative emotions you need to release. There will be a focus to set yourself free from negative energy. Many people have contacted me about this dream, and it is important to keep your distance from people who cause nothing but negativity and waking. life. Uh-oh. Water is historically connected to healing, protection, and the awareness of our spiritual responsibility often arises after having this dream. To see Mercury, see water in a dream reflects your hidden feelings about your life if you have experienced negative. Praise the Lord. Okay. Praise Him. Praise Him.
Praise Him.
Praise Him.